We're building up a Sequia, which is a piece of software which I'm doing for the third year project. It's a visual step sequencer. I just got parts of the logic working now. I'll just start up the sequencer, and it's got a hardware controller which you connect to it, and it's wired into Native Instruments FM8 just for testing. So if I press a button, these all work up together. 16 steps. So if I just So here's the final finished version of Sequia. So this is the last developments of Sequia for the third year project. I intend to continue this on my own to try and get the thing working, but this is how much I've been able to achieve in the time frame that I've been given. So yeah, I'm just going to execute that here for you now so you can see what's happening. We've initialized all the MIDI devices, and it's working with the internal synthesizer, and then we've got some rotation going on with the cubes and several different lights focusing up at the cubes. You notice that there's two displays here and here. It's the distance of what each eye would see. So eventually we'd be able to write a stereoscopy method if I could figure out how to filter all the pixels on each side to match up with these anaglyphic red cyan glasses. Okay, so that's everything it's doing at the moment. I've not managed to get enough any MIDI information from the hardware control surface, but I've been able to connect it and route the signals through MIDI. Let me just run this again. So I can see what's been initialized. So these are all the notes that have gone into the sequence that I've pre-programmed. And we've also set up the game track controller and all the different devices that are available with the Pro Control library. And these are all the virtual MIDI ports that I've used with MIDI-Yoke. MIDI-Yoke's a piece of software for Windows XP which enables you to have 8 virtual MIDI in and out ports, so you can route things through software. So you can route several softwares together. So if and I spoke a little bit about integration, so I'll just show you this running with Ableton Live or another sequencer at the same time. So we'll just fire up a sequencer. So over on this side we have Ableton Live. And we have the code for Sequia there. So just have a couple of beats and loops and things I've messed around with over there. But then we can run this at the same time. So we have the graphics, the 3D graphics on one side of the screen, and we have Ableton Live, which is a separate piece of audio software which is able to manipulate MIDI clips and audio clips and apply real-time effects and things. But we can both see them running in tandem together. They're not actually connected, but it's just to demonstrate that you can use several different MIDI applications that access different MIDI ports at the same time. So the creative aspect of this is that you could use Ableton Live when this thing is working properly. You could have some MIDI going from Ableton Live. You could go into the graphic sequence and get it to update the squares for visuals. This machine I built has actually got four outputs, so you could actually put that through to a projector as well and have the graphics on a wall. It's got four video outputs. Yeah, so there's a lot of creative possibilities there when the software is working. Well, there's an example of Nuendo running side by side Sequia. They're not exactly in time. They're both running at the same tempo, to give you the illusion that they're perfectly in time. But what I'd ideally have with Sequia is find the means of the method to use MIDI timecode to synchronize it as either the slave or master. So Sequia could either be the keeper of the time, and then you'd have the hardware control surface, and you'd have a tempo dial to adjust the global tempo of everything, or it would synchronize to something like Ableton Live or Nuendo, depending on what you wanted to use it for. But ideally, yeah, of course, you would have a GUI panel. There'd be where you could select the options of how you'd want Sequia to operate. But that will come in a later iteration. I've just got to get this version working a bit better, just sequencing notes and doing some very simple graphics. There's some good potential in the software. If we can just nail a few of these problems, get it going. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Right, take care.